You have no idea that 0 people are watching you.
So I'm Tim. This is my brother James, and we are Tabletop Terrors. We think that creativity is something that is very difficult. And so we found that it is less difficult when you have other people help you. And we are Tabletop Terrors. We think that creativity is something that is
He's got his... well, you should stop the video in the background anyway. That's the real... solution. You did the solution or the...
Oh, it's bad news.
You treated the symptom.
We think that creativity can be a crucible. So we set out to conquer that crucible of creativity.
And, hopefully teach you something about tabletop games in the meantime.
Right. So technically, the stream name is Kill That Guy, Would You? And by the end of the stream, hopefully there'll be a meaningful reason for that. That is a check we wrote with no answers. I don't know why this stream is called that.
Josh Bingham says, hey guys, I can add to the why it might be called that.
Tell me.
I will read you what I posted on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Tim and James star in this off-Broadway version of Kill That Guy, Would You?
I love it. All right, guys, so this is Kill That Guy, Would You? It's a new off-Broadway play.
It's a slapstick musical.
Okay.
Where someone hires someone else to kill someone.
Okay.
But it's a pina colada type situation where the person is themselves. It needs work.
we gotta workshop that. Kill that guy, would ya? Kill that guy, would ya?
I'm telling you to kill that guy.
There is a miracle that has happened that we even have 10,000 subscribers, which that's another reason for the stream. I guess technically this would be our 10,000 subscriber stream, which is pretty
that's
terrible
for the
subscriber.
How's it going, buddy?
But this is also going to serve as a bit of a channel update. We're going to tell you about some cool stuff that's going on. The first thing is that James and I have a hefty Ziploc bag full of hurricane debris. We're okay after the hurricane.
Okay.
I was going to say something else, and that didn't go well. This is why we edit our videos. No, but what we do is we have a hefty backlog of videos. We have been working to have more consistent videos up. So to do that, we've recorded, I think now we have about 17 videos.
Whoa.
So those are going to be posting. And we decided that we're going to post a new video, every Tuesday. We're going to call it Tabtarian Tuesday. So beginning soon, a new video from Tabletop Terrors every Tuesday, hopefully from now until forever. So that is what we're trying to do to be more consistent.
Josh Bingham said hello, which I believe I mentioned earlier, and then he said he loves the shirt. So
thanks,
Tim's got his Master of Puppets shirt.
Awesome.
I have a what I call my G.I. Joe Star Wars shirt.
Oh, yeah.
G.I. Joe Star Wars. It's a G.I. Joe Millennium Falcon.
It is. It's got the 3-stripe G.I. Joe. So let's talk live about something that is way, way in the future, but something that I think is going to be cool and that I'm excited to talk about.
Are we post-dating this check a year in advance?
Yeah,
is that what's happening?
This is very far in the future. This is.
I believe Jay Anderson says, glad you guys made it through the storm.
Oh, thanks,
man.
We are
also very glad.
We had, comparatively to what most people experienced, we just had some inconveniences. My wife and I were without power for about 5 days.
I was without power for about 5 minutes.
This guy.
Not a joke, 5 or 6 minutes. We were extremely, extremely lucky. We know people that are still without power now.
Yeah,
Irma was, the hurricane that hit was on Monday of this week that just passed.
Right.
So 7 days ago, and some people were still without power. And the worst thing that happened to me is during the hurricane, the power would flicker, not enough to turn everything off, but just enough to turn the TV off. Talk about minor inconveniences.
Right? My wife and I live on well water, which means that when the electricity goes off, so does your water pump.
And Tim said, hey, how do I get water? And they said, well...
That kind of happened.
Oh, man.
I'm such a new homeowner and living on a well. I didn't know that. So I really was like, hey, what do I do? Do I report this?
Someone's like, there's not a pump? There's not a...
No, there's not a pump.
I bet you there's a manual pump.
There might be, just in case for safety. I don't know enough about the pump to actually be able to use it. So
that just occurred to me.
But we're safe. We're, like I said, inconvenienced is the most that we experienced because we were prepared.
So. But you were writing a check.
I was writing a check. And so one of the things that I think we're excited to semi-formally announce is that through Absolute Tabletop, James and I are cooking up some official Tabletop Terrors supplements. And I don't mean Dragon Grin books, but I mean Tabletop Terrors, like our logo, and it's things like villain generators with advice and things like that, as well as like encounter generators.
So kind of more meta stuff that's not necessarily about Dragon Grin. We've done a few books, but they've all been in our world.
Exactly. So the idea would be come up with a really cool... the villain generator is probably the best idea because it's half maybe or more written. James and I have been working on that for a while. And we were planning on just using it for ourselves, but the more I was like, we could make this into a book for other people to use.
And also use it.
Right, and use it ourselves. So, as a concept, what we would do is write this villain book, and it would be everything you would need to generate a villain. Then what we would do is, every once in a while, we'd make a video giving you a free villain, and then release that as a PDF of like, hey, here's a PDF of a cool villain that we made. And then if you wanted to go get the book, you could, but basically use the tools that we use to make videos already.
Yeah.
To make cool content, but then give you the tools.
Exactly. Josh Hull says he was actually on vacation while Irma was in Orlando. Good news, though, Disney had no lines, which is great because I don't know exactly when Disney was open or closed.
Yeah, I don't either.
It came Sunday evening, so like Sunday would have been the perfect day for Disney. It was kind of overcast. Oh, yeah. It wasn't, well, I guess it was raining Sunday, maybe Saturday, but it was like it was like clouds everywhere, no sun, no people would be there. I'm like, you kind of hit the jackpot. And,
I almost took my daughter to SeaWorld because I figured they would have power and all that.
To see what world? I know, I'm all about that. Tim and I have been extremely giggly today, and by that I mean me.
No, so I was just really giggly.
Usually we edit it all out, but you get to see every stupid joke we make.
I know.
Oh. And Ben Buckner was excited, hopefully, for our off-Broadway production of
Kill That Guy, would you?
But you almost brought her to SeaWorld. But
I didn't know if they would have power, and I also didn't think it would be wise to spend that gas in the vehicle in case we did have to evacuate or anything happened.
Oh, and your phone lines were down. You couldn't call and see, right?
Right. So, the reception was terrible. Well, no, reception was...
this is post-hurricane. Yeah. I thought you were talking pre-hurricane like Josh. Oh, okay.
Sorry, meaning...
I was giving you a hard time, like you couldn't... You're like,
I said evacuate. Well, no, what I meant to say was there were some people who had to evacuate mandatorily. They were putting some of the gas on a ban, and you could only fill up vehicles, not gas cans, so that those people could get back to their homes. So
Ben Buckner says he's just excited for the Super Carny Road.
Hey!
We're an unlockable in the new Super Mario Odyssey game coming out. So we kind of hit it big on that one. It's coming out in October.
It's going to be awesome.
We'll be there, along with Mario's Nipples, which I've seen quite a lot of talk recently. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Where basically they showed this is not a joke.
I know.
I didn't know if you were trying to improv game me. I'm
not improving you. I've seen the photo.
The funniest thing was I saw a Photoshop photo of what Mario would actually look like, and he was really Italian and had hair all over
and
his
the gold
shoes.
chain. Yeah. So this is something that I think is awesome. There was a Nintendo ad in the 90s where Mario had a tribal tattoo on his arm.
Yeah.
And they were saying, canonically, since it was in a Nintendo ad, Mario has a tattoo. And it's this awful tribal...
really bad 90s tribal tattoo.
Yeah, it's... you could find it somewhere.
Elvira Garza says, I'm 6 minutes, 30 seconds late, but I'm here now. Trust me, you haven't missed anything.
We're still coming up with concepts and ideas for the Tabletop Terrors books, like we were kind of talking about. I think what I would love to do ideally, I've kind of broken down in my mind the biggest macro elements of an RPG and then sort of staggered down. So it's like region, and then within the region there's an area. Within the area there's a location.
Within the location there's one more synonym. No, I get you.
Right, so
smaller areas, yeah.
Well, like a region would be like a huge nation almost. But you don't want to call it a nation because I think that's...
It may not be a nation. Right. You're talking geographical borders,
correct,
not political borders.
So I was like, all right, it would be cool if we had a region generator. That was like a scaled-down version of what's going to be in Dead Man's Guide.
Rob says, glad to... Wait, I need to actually read this. Great to see you, me old blackguards. Wait, blaggers? Blaggers. I added a D to that.
Great to see you, me old blaggers. That's how
I would have said blackguards. I don't know. I don't know. Omni. What? No, Mega. I don't know what's happening. And Josh says you've missed quite the riot, which he's only half right.
Right.
But so you got these macro.
Well, the idea is that if we create a region generator, meaning the book that we release is like, hey, here's a cool idea. Here's how you make regions. Very basic, but then that's what we release. Like every once in a while, hey, here's a region we created using this book. Same thing for like an area. An area is like within the cool forested region of your basic fantasy campaign.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the area is, hey, here's the haunted forest.
Yeah.
Like, here you go. Then underneath that, you have locations. Location is a dungeon or basically anywhere where those things happen. Scale that down in the locations, there are encounters. And then to go one step further, that would be your monsters, your items, so that's pretty big all the way down to pretty small. But I was thinking you create one basic generator for each of those things and you kind of just make a book for each with advice of, hey, here's how you do it. It could be, I'll say short, meaning like 100 pages. No. But it could be like relatively short, but then we make things using our own book once a month or every couple of weeks and then just put out those PDFs. So I don't know. That's kind of the idea.
So Rob says, blag, to improvise or BS. And I'm like, to me, blag is the punchline of an XKCD comic where he's pronouncing things wrong and he's pronouncing blog wrong. But that is interesting. I hadn't heard of that because I was thinking blackguard, which to me is more like an Irish term or like piratey, like, I mean blackguards, which wouldn't mean to improvise or BS, but would instead be like, I almost said another word that was very bad in some places and not so bad here. Gotcha. The W word. I don't know if people call it that, but whatever. Either way. Wayneski, yes. But Josh Hull says, the more you know, the stronger you grow. That was
That's it.
An old... Well, it was a Marvel game. It was the slogan to a Marvel game where your power in the game was proportional to the amount you knew about the characters, which I'm like, that's the worst thing ever. It's like there's no catch-up mechanic. Like, well, I know.
Because they want you to buy and read the comics, and that's the way they...
Yes, it was kind of like, it's kind of a bad game design. Poor game design.
So we have a little bit of time here. Any questions? Is there anything anybody wants to know about? We are safe from the storm. We kind of went over that. In 2018, we hope to see some Tabletop Terrors branded books from Absolute Tabletop. We kind of went over that. We're working hard on Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin. That's going very well. We hit 10,000 subscribers somehow. Not sure how
the Frozen King is almost ready. It's still available for pre-order.
Yes, it is.
And of
on
course,
AbsoluteTabletop.com.
And the sooner you pre-order, especially if it's a physical copy, the sooner you get it.
Yep.
Of course, if you pre-order the PDF, you'll get the PDF when it comes out and is available to everyone.
Yes. So yeah, pretty excited about that. We got a lot of stuff cooking on the back burner here at Tabletop Terrors and Absolute Tabletop. But I'm excited because like I said, our goal was, let's take a couple of months, finish Oath of the Frozen King, and then really dig in and create a backlog of videos so that we can have one posting every week indefinitely, so that if we miss a week, we don't... Yeah. Point is, I'm excited because I don't even remember most of those videos.
You don't remember 16 videos
No,
back?
I don't. So it's going to be like when we start posting these new videos every Tuesday, it's going to be, I think, cool to watch. Be like, oh, okay, that's what we said there.
Ben Buckner asks, and I can answer this question for sure, will there be a cookbook 2 from AbTab? Absolutely. One day.
I think so. And I think I understand more clearly what would be a cool cookbook, because the recipes in that cookbook are awesome. They're really good.
If you think about it, if you think about where that landed in the things that we released, was that the first Dragongrin book?
No.
I think it was.
Not if you count Tieflings and Trapsmiths.
I don't.
Oh, so
yeah, like as Absolute Tabletop, that was the first Dragongrin book. We had the chance to do anything we wanted.
No. It was Deep Vault Cookbook. Wasn't it?
I think Copper Jackals might have come out first, too.
No. Copper Jackals was after Cookbook.
Oh, no, because it was Deep Vault Cookbook. Either way.
I'm pretty sure it was Deep Vault Cookbook.
I guess what I'm saying is...
It was the two books that we were head project managers on back to back, and that's when we decided as a company, never again. Because it's just so much work to devise right and come up with a whole...
I guess what I'm saying is, it was a weird choice for being such a young company with a young brand.
Because I thought it would blow up way bigger than it did. I thought it was going to be awesome to have a cookbook ready in time for Thanksgiving.
And I agree, and I'm not saying I would change it if I could, and I'm not saying I regret it, but I'm saying that looking back, I'm like, man.
I know. But That's just what happens when you get to do it yourself, right? You can. Yeah.
So we did actually get questions. I don't know what you're going to say, but we can.
Okay, well, I was just going to say,
yeah,
what I would do for a cookbook too is I would make it much more roll table based and not as much lore heavy stuff. We're much more into customizable lore.
I rolled the 7, so that means a quarter cup of baking soda.
Yeah,
these are going to be some weird chocolate chip cookies.
No, but like I would make it just kind of off the wall roll tables for interesting things that would. So it would be like recipe roll tables rather than all these recipes and then lore on fake recipes.
Basically, half cookbook, half RPG book, whereas this was like 90% cookbook, 10% RPG book.
Kind of.
Maybe like 80-20 closer. But
so,
okay, so a few questions. So Josh said, you guys pushed out the Kickstarter super quick. Any other Kickstarters on the horizon? I consider that a two-parter because I want to address the fact that the Kickstarter was so quick. We, as a company at Absolute Tabletop, have decided that we are not going to Kickstart a product unless it's almost all the way done.
Right, like finished written.
So it wasn't... we had all of Oath of the Frozen King written as we would have released it. Now, that still wasn't edited, or we didn't have the art done, or we didn't lay it out, stuff like that. But we had all of it written. Now, we added stuff with stretch goals, so that stuff we then had to write. We gave ourselves a few weeks to write, then edited, then layout. But, I mean, overall, a book of the size of Oath of the Frozen King, if we didn't Kickstart it, would take about 6 to 8 weeks. And there's no reason that would be different for Kickstarter. Now, the important thing is, there could always be a snag in the proofing stage for the physical copy. People will, before that, as far as we've talked about it now, we're going to release the digital version when it's done. This may or may not be true, but we're going to release the digital version when it's done, and then we will start shipping the physical versions. Basically, there's no reason to wait for people to give people their PDFs for the physical
That's the
version.
plan, especially because our proofing process involves sending out the PDF first, because then people let us know, hey, there's a typo here, or things.
Exactly.
It's just a safer way to make sure that when you get a physical book in your hands, it's been proofread by us multiple times, but anything we miss, it's been stress tested in the field.
Exactly.
And you get a book that doesn't have typos or errors in it.
As well as the fact that we have to send it off, and after about 2 or 3 weeks, they send us one that we can see. And so that's a pain. So we use that time to say, okay, what typos were found, what mistakes were found, what could we change? Boom, done. With that said, yes, there are more Kickstarters on the horizon.
There are. I don't think it's been officially announced, but early next year, we are going to be kickstarting Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin. We decided to wait. We were going to potentially kickstart it this year. The reason why we didn't is for that very reason that James mentioned, is that it was about halfway on that first draft where it's like, hey, about half of this is done for like drafty versions.
It's a much bigger book than Oath.
Much bigger.
A darn sight. So.
Right. And so what we wanted
is like nearly 60 pages.
Yeah.
This book's going to be huge. So.
Yeah. Dead Man's Guide, I would be surprised if it was less than 200 pages.
Exactly.
With that said, we were like, no, we're going to take a few months, hunker down, and really get full drafts of this stuff fully written so that when we do kickstart it, not only is that smart because then you can plan for the exact art you're needing, but it's also allows us to put out books much faster than other Kickstarters we've seen because we already backfill the work. Yeah. And the Kickstarter is just to decide what stretch goals go in there, what extra stuff, and then really how much art, how beautiful is the book going to be.
Exactly, as well as, especially with Dead Man's Guide, we'll be able to play around more with hardcovers. And, you know, potentially cool stuff.
Like
we're going to
cool,
see.
like leathery. Like
exactly. We want to keep it lean, but Oath kind of didn't work for a hardcover because it's only about 60 pages. I think that'd be a weird hardcover to have.
Sure.
It just wouldn't be usable in my mind, so. Also that, you know, we'll have some more options, but... Rob said, I love the idea of the villain generator. That would be super helpful to fill a sandbox world with diverse antagonists. What in the generator will provide unique flair for the villains created?
Really, really good question. So this is something that I will not go super deep into, but could.
Yeah, because we have the generator. It's just a matter of putting it in the queue of all the stuff.
Exactly. Right now, we have an Absolute Tabletop Google Drive where we keep all of our books. And this is currently under working title Tabletop Terrors, Ever-Growing Shadows, a complete villain generator.
There was a second part of the question that I just answered second. What will there be to help their motivations fit in the world?
That's
so what's the extra flair that will make them not generic, and how will they fit in the world? And I need you to do that quick enough that we can answer that question as well as other questions in 1 minute.
Okay. All right, start me on a timer.
Boom. Not really. You don't have to. Go ahead.
So I think that the document you'll be looking for is document number 7 on the drive. The villain's quirks, fixations, and flaws. Okay? So that's the first thing to make them diverse. So roll me... You have any dice?
No? What is this?
Hey,
what
does
is this,
anybody...
a D&D show?
Does anybody have any dice out there?
Dice.
Oh, he's going to get them.
There's a delay. It's a thing. What do you need?
No, you're fine. Give me a 2d10 for like a d100 table.
I don't have 2d10. Oh, I play D&D? 83.
83. So this particular villain looks like... Oh, this is interesting. Readily puts themselves in the way of danger for a thrill.
All right.
So
boom.
That already is like, oh, okay, that's an interesting villain. But I'm not going to go off, but I'm like, that already paints a way different picture than a couple above where it says, has an eidetic memory able to recall nearly anything with vivid accuracy. The other thing is, and I won't go into the details for this, but there's 2 other documents. Document number 5 is the villain's defining moment and their justifications. I think it's super interesting to decide, when did this villain break bad? And also, what are their justifications? And do know that there's an entry on that table that they don't justify themselves. So you can go all the way down the spectrum. The final document currently in the book is called Crafting Villains Specific to Your World. And as it stands now, it's a questionnaire that gives you the option to say, how does this villain tie into your world? So basically, is it a faction which kingdom? So there's going to be a cool basic questionnaire in the back of the book
to kind of stitch it in.
Exactly. So
you'll
what
have to
faction
do some of the
you're
work, to like fit it to anything.
Right.
But it'll give you some fuel to say, oh, okay, well, this faction is doing this thing, or
exactly. Like, one of them would be like, this villain is hated by a king. What king in your world is that?
Exactly.
Boom. That's how you thread that villain right in there. So hopefully that answers that. This book, I would say, is about 70% written. It mostly just needs roll tables filled in.
So Ben Buchter mentioned regarding the cookbook, he said, there we go. Can't find it. Hey, I tried out the dressing/stuffing and the key lime recipe for the first year, and they were amazing. The first year it came out. Like you said,
I'm telling you, the recipes in that book I'm very, very proud of. We didn't create them, but we cultivated them from like Nana's cookbook and this person's chocolate chip cook. All the awesome recipes that we had available to us from friends, family members.
They were things we had or somebody had. Like, oh, this is the best one. Not like, all right, well, we found this stuffing recipe.
I'm telling you, for my personal preference, the chocolate chip cookies in the cookbook are my absolute favorite in the world. The chocolate chip cookies in the Cookbook of the Realms on AbsoluteTabletop.com. So if you're looking for a chocolate chip cookie fix, that's the book to get.
That's where you go. A few other people said hello. Prupra showed up and was playing the air guitar while the logo went.
Nice.
Logo Sarsgaard was singing Tabletop Terrors. Drunken the Dragon says hello. What's up, Hankerin?
What's up, Hankerin?
Oh, and then Rob said, that's super rad. I enjoy asking leading questions. Answers just enough to wet the whistle. The whistle.
Whistle wetter.
Logo Sarsgaard says, running my players through a spooky magic shop tomorrow. Any ideas how I can put a terrifying spin on things?
Sorry.
I would say just rip off what was that old show where they got sucked into the thing? Little Shop of Horrors. Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's what I meant. No, but okay, so how could they put a twist on it?
Well, they're specifically looking for terrifying things.
Yeah, terrifying
spin. Any idea how I can put a terrifying spin on things?
Magic shop.
So here's the thing. If your group doesn't play like that, you will be really frustrated and sad. Meaning, if it's beer and pretzels and, my dad's eating pizza and everyone's farting, there's nothing that's going to make it terrifying. And trying to pressure that on them is going to make it weird so that their farts are going through your haunted, sounds. If your group is roleplay heavy and likes that sort of thing, the 3 things: sights, sounds, and sensations. I will give you specifics from our upcoming adventure kit, Oath of the Frozen King, which you can pre-order on AbsoluteTabletop.com. But
so Josh says goodbye. He probably already left, but he swears he's going to watch the later. So goodbye, Josh.
Oh man,
while Tim pulls that up.
So in the toolbox for each adventure kit, what we're doing so that there's specifics that feel a little different, we're making something called the Adventure Oddities table. The oddities in this particular one are called Whispers of the Frozen King. So I'm going to give you 2 that you can use and just seed them into the magic shop, and hopefully this will give you. So, James, roll me a d20. My homie.
20. Oh, wow. Actually,
all right.
Interesting. I kind of didn't roll, but I'm happy with 20.
So this is what I want you to have the players see out of the corner of their eye, okay? A hulking, armored silhouette stands behind you, breathing steadily. It soon fades.
That's pretty spooky.
That's pretty spooky. So, roll me another one. We're going to give him a twofer.
Twofer. Double for 13.
Ooh, lucky number, 13. 13 is a decaying, disembodied hand clutches a note reading, "There's no way out."
This is all perfect because I'm like, it's a shop of like stuff that you can find. Like,
right.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So here's what you do very briefly. You have the hand, and it doesn't appear zombified at first. It's a mannequin hand holding a note that says, "Please help yourself," and there's a dish of candy. Then lightning crashes, and what it turns into is a decaying, disembodied hand clutching a note, and the note reads, "There's no way out," but when the lightning stops flashing, it says, "Please help yourself," and there's candy.
And the candy's gone. No.
And then later, the note will read, no flash of lightning, instead of help, it will say kill. There you go. Good luck. Let us know how it goes.
So we are going to wrap this up, but Josh Hull said, I think the show you're thinking of is Warehouse 13. I think I was thinking an episode of one of those episodic scary shows like a Goosebumps or an Are You Afraid of the Dark.
Are You Afraid of the Dark? The faceless, like the black void face people, pull them into a crystal ball. Like,
oh, see, I was
there's a
thinking...
fake magic shop owner.
Oh, okay, then I think that was it. Yeah, yeah.
And he's like pretending to read fortunes, but I think he comes upon a real crystal ball, and these void entities escape through the crystal ball.
Yeah.
Because he's using it, and then they get like mirror world, like they get swapped inside or something.
And the important thing is that's not a super uncommon plot. I think there was even another one where there was a magic shop where these kids got trapped. Like it ended with them getting trapped in like a pinball machine or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Something like that, where it was like one of those old like 90s like early morning show, like live action scary, episodic.
It had to be like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Something like that, yeah. And Logos Logos said, "My gods, above and beyond the Call of Duty. So amazing, guys. So much love."
Dude, absolutely. That's what we're here for. That's what the Adventure Kit's great for. I mean, you could just scroll through the toolbox.
Yeah.
And make full adventures. You're like, oh, I need something.
A trinket.
Yeah, okay, how about a conch shell carved from ice? Now, you need to make it for a spooky haunted house. Make it a conch shell carved from bone.
Or carved from ice that isn't cold to the touch or doesn't
right. Anything
leak. You can kind of cheat it that way.
Not normal can be spooky, so. Yeah. Beautiful. So, do we have one more question to wrap it up with?
There was... Maybe. Oh no, Josh did say. I thought there was one.
And thanks for watching, everybody. This is just a kind of an
fly.
On the fly is the word. I was gonna say on the whim.
Fly on the wall.
This is just a live stream we decided we would do. Kind of give a half channel update, and also we have to get back to work on Kill That Guy. Would you?
Josh Hulls. This wasn't a question, but mentioned Roll 83 back on the villain generator. Roll 83 tells me that they would be a member of royalty who has grown jaded with their common life and turns to villainy for the thrill.
That's great.
That's another good motivation.
Those are the exact things that we're going to have on there. Yeah. There's also a whole section for henchmen as well as foils, because a foil is not necessarily someone who is evil, but has goals that are opposed to the party. So it's going to be pretty robust. Anything else?
I think that'll do it. I think that was
awesome.
That was the last one.
Well,
seemingly.
I think then we need to wrap things up with a Tabtarian toast.
Sounds good.
All right.
May you mend the first brick.
May you kill the first snake.
And may you conquer everything you undertake.
Sláinte. All right, everybody. I'm Tim. This is James. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, may your dice roll high.